I've watched every single World Cup since it were in black and white, and here's why I think the World Cup in USA this year is going to be the worst ever!
ولا مودريتش ولا كوفاتشيتش ولا بيريسيتش ولا بروزوفيتش ولا كراماريتش ولا بيتكوفيتش ولا باساليتش ولا سوتشيتش. اليوم ألبانيا تريد أن تقول لهؤلاء ممنوع المروريتش وممنوع التعديليتش. يلا مع السلامة في
what nationality are you?
I'm Brazilian.
I know I saw you in the dressing rooms earlier, but what nationality are you?
Barcelona fans are so annoying. They're the worst fans
Babe,
in the...
should we go out for dinner?
Mexico versus South Africa.
Babe, should we go out for some drinks with friends?
Spain versus Cape Verde.
Babe, your nan's in hospital.
France versus Norway.
Oh my god. Babe, I'm going into labour.
England v Ghana.
Oh my god. I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving you.
Portugal versus the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
The FIFA World Cup, powered by Mountain Dew on ESPN. Well, good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to the Super Bowl of soccer. All the greats have graced this field. Pele, Maradona, Landon Donovan, the list goes on. All with one goal in mind, to get their fingers inside those championships.
World Cup ticket pricing is so out of control, it's being investigated by the attorneys general of both New York and New Jersey. The joint probe covers FIFA's ticketing practices, including reports that fans were misled about the location of seats they'd already purchased. Prices far exceeded any previous World Cup, with most ticket categories rising an average of 34% between October and April. This is also the first World Cup where FIFA has used dynamic pricing, adjusting costs based on demand. New Jersey's AG
Welcome to Blighty Blighted, your daily reminder that even football has become unnecessarily complicated. Now then, can we talk about the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like a logistical headache wrapped in a circus and sprinkled with a bit of madness. First of all, the time zones. Good grief. For us Brits, half the matches seem designed to start when sensible people are normally asleep. Nothing says global sporting festival quite like setting an alarm for 2 a.m. and spending the next day wandering about like a confused badger. Back in my day, international tournaments felt straightforward. You turned the television on. The match was on. You watched it. You went to bed. Simple. Now it feels like you need a spreadsheet, 3 alarm clocks, and a medical professional on standby. And then there's the scale of it all. 3 host nations, huge travel distances, matches spread all over the place. Some teams will need more air miles than a touring rock band. Now don't get me wrong. The Americans know how to put on a big event. Nobody does spectacle quite like they do. But football, yes, football, is still a bit different. Or as they insist on calling it, soccer. A word that still causes mild chest pains in British pubs. And that's the funny thing. Football in Britain isn't just entertainment, it's culture, it's tradition, it's Saturday afternoons, it's family arguments, it's celebrating like you've won the lottery because a ball crossed a line. Meanwhile, some Americans are still trying to figure out why a 0-0 draw can somehow be exciting. Although, to be fair, football is growing rapidly over there.
£14 British for a can of Stella at the World Cup. If you haven't had to sell your liver to get a ticket for the World Cup, then it's okay, because you won't have to damage it with the price of these beers. This is at Lumen Field in Seattle, an import beer costing $19, but it's okay because you can save $1 by getting a domestic American beer. And if you're wondering, 16 ounces works out about 100 millilitres less than a pint. Listen, I know cost of living is more expensive in America. I know on average wages are higher. But come on, you can get 10 cans of Stella for 10 quid, let alone one for 14. And even at a match in the Premier League at the Etihad Stadium, I think it's £5.50 for a pint. But it doesn't stop there, because a 1 litre bottle of water comes in at $10.50, which is around £8, I want to say. You see those prices, and it comes as no surprise that FIFA wanted to ban fans bringing reusable bottles of water into the stadium. Un churro is costing $11. A soft pretzel, that'll be $13.50. And it's worth stressing that I believe prices may change from venue to venue. I think it's Atlanta that are known for having cheaper prices compared to the rest of the stadiums. But even still, this is mind-boggling.
Stop scrolling if you're planning to attend any FIFA World Cup games. Scammers have already launched fake ticket websites, and people are losing money before a single match has even kicked off. This website looks professional. It talks about World Cup tickets. It's got photos, logos, and even a customer support, but it's fake. The biggest red flag, look at this web address. It's not FIFA.com. Scammers know fans are excited and official tickets are expensive, so they create convincing looking websites offering guaranteed tickets or exclusive access. That's exactly how they get people. I'm a huge soccer fan myself, and I know how tempting these offers can be. But here's the rule. If it's not sold through the official FIFA website, that's FIFA.com, or through an aftermarket website like StubHub, then assume it's a scam until proven otherwise. Before entering any payment information, always verify the web address. One wrong click could mean no tickets, lost money, stolen personal information, because scammers aren't just after your payment. Many fake ticket sites also collect your name, address, email account, credit card details, and sometimes even passport information. So before you buy World Cup tickets, do a few things. 1, check the URL. 2, go directly to FIFA.com. 3, avoid links from social media ads. And lastly, be skeptical of limited time deals, because missing out on a ticket hurts, but being scammed hurts even more.
How much is costing me to follow England in the World Cup around the US this summer? Right, start off with flights. £2,599.38. That's about 6 flights, I think. I'm going back and forth for a couple of games. Right, a com, 1,638. That's a mixture of Airbnbs, hotels, and then apartments on booking.com, and it's usually split with 1 or 2 other people. Esther's, insurances, all that kind of admin stuff, 120. Match tickets, £3,259. Then you've got spending money, £3,300. I've worked that out. Roughly £150 per day, and then I'll convert it into dollars when I get out there, just based on the duration of my stays. And look, I'm not going to be like trying to find the cheapest pint or like doing these cost hacks. The cost will be what the cost is at the end of the day. Other kind of travel, like intermediates, that kind of thing, buses, coaches, £200 over the trip. So that totals £11,116.38, and that covers 2 warm-up friendlies, which are this week in Florida, group game in New York against Panama, last 16 game in Mexico, and the final. So the final's the big hitter, really. Everyone knows how expensive the tickets are to that. That takes up a large amount of the cost. Will it be worth it? We'll see. Will we even get to the final? Because that price goes down by a couple grand if we don't. So let me know your thoughts, any other questions in the comments. opinions if you like, and if you want to see more World Cup content, drop me a follow.
Here's 5 ways to get out of work for the World Cup. Number 5, as a disclaimer, use this at your own peril. This one works really well if you just start a new job, because all your dead relatives are back alive. Tell them that the uncle that you didn't like in the first place is dead. And I know that's pretty sick in the head, but the World Cup is every 4 years and we're going to enjoy this moment. Number 4, tell him your dog's got an optician's appointment, and when they go, that's far-fetched, go, how did you know? How did you know that when I threw the ball for him, he couldn't see it because he's registered blind, and it was too far for him to fetch, and then just put the phone down. Number 3, AI a picture of yourself in a hospital bed with a gown on, and tell them that you're physically incapable of getting to work. Don't say anything stupid though, just say you've got like an ingrowing toenail that needs removing or something. Number 2, tell them that you've been called up to be Haiti's set-piece coach, and when they go, I don't think so, go, well, they've seen my save on Championship Manager where I took walking to the Champions League within 6 seasons. That kind of stuff doesn't go unnoticed. Number 1, you have to initially go into work for this, but what you do is you go up to the manager, have a bit of small talk, and then just shit your pants. Shit your pants there and then. They can't not send you home. Come on now, work harder, not smarter.
Was the American marketing team aware that in the creation for the World Cup logo, which is very iconic and very infamous with each World Cup, is encouraged to add a bit of culture, or maybe even the message or the vibe that your World Cup is going to bring to the world? I mean, look at these iconic logos from the World Cup of 2010, 2014 in Brazil. Compared to this soulless, bland bit of marketing, I mean, if you look really closely, the 6, which doesn't even look like a 6, looks like a cheeseburger, which does relate to American culture. If you don't mind what you're watching and you're not already following, please feel free to click follow. In addition to just so many ludicrous and you would think fictional issues ahead of a World Cup with a host nation, as Omar Artan, a Somalian referee who was scheduled to referee at this World Cup, was elected as Best African Referee of 2025. He had a diplomatic passport to travel. He has been refused entry, along with the health and safety being another issue at this World Cup, as just the other day 9 were injured in a shooting near England's training camp. Along with the standards of pitches that we have seen so far, I mean, the amount of ACL and career-ending injuries I bet we're going to see this tournament, along with the blatant discrimination against the Iranian national team, who as a participant is being refused to enter the country unless it's the day of their fixture, which is just mental. The World Cup is the most special, unifying tournament in the world, and this logo, this country and this tournament is doing anything but. It's turning people against each other, I think. Rightfully so, a lot of criticism and controversy surrounding previous World Cups, like in Qatar, like in Russia. Why are America not being held to the same standard?
This has to be the most infuriating thing about the World Cup so far, and it's actually for nothing on the pitch, and it's got nothing to do with America for once. But this right here is absolutely painful, and people might say it's a non-issue, but if you're into this kind of stuff, this absolutely is a problem, and it's something that needs to be addressed over the course of the World Cup. Something that's been spoken about a whole lot over the last few days is the coverage of the World Cup between ITV and the BBC, and everyone's saying how ITV has completely left the BBC behind, with them having a studio in Salford and ITV actually being out there in America covering the games. But this isn't the issue for me right here. It's actually for the overall graphics for the World Cup. Now, as you can see behind me, this is the official scoreboard for the World Cup, and to me, I think that actually looks really clean. A lot of people have complained about it, but I think that right there looks really good. You look at ITV scoreboard, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. You can't really go wrong with it right there. It's clean, but it's nothing to write home about. But this right here was triggering so many people on the BBC. Of course, a different scoreboard for them. What on earth is this white thing around the scoreboard? That, for me, ruins it.
First reason, Americans, I can't stand them, and neither can you. Every time I open TikTok, every time I turn on the television, and every time I have the bleeding radio on, I have to listen to an American talking the biggest pile of twaddle I've ever heard in my life. And it's always something like this.
So I'm excited for two main things ahead of the Soccer World Cup 2026. Firstly, I'm excited to see how Cristiano Pulisic gets on. He's by far the best player in world soccer right now. I think he's going to bring it home for Team USA.
And secondly, I'm looking forward to sitting down in the MetLife Stadium next to these Europeans and seeing how they react to being in one of the coliseums of global sport. Something that's so much better than those tiny little stadiums that they have over in England and Germany.
If I have to hear any more of this frigging nonsense, I'm going to get a red hot poke and shove it up my own arse. But beyond the annoying Americans, there's a number of other things that are going to make this the worst World Cup ever. No, it's not the times. We were used to that in South Korea, getting up at 6 a.m. to watch England. And no, it's not the heat. We've had hotter World Cups than this. It's just the effect of uber American capitalism on everything. The stadiums are going to be half bastard full because they're charging $2 or $3 a ticket. The corner flags are going to be on rubber plinths, and the goals are going to look like something you'd wheel out up 5-side pitch on AstroTurf at school. And I can friggin' guarantee every single water break there's going to be adverts for Gatorade or some other shite like that. And we just don't need it. Football's supposed to be pure joy, particularly a World Cup. I look forward to it so much. But I tell you what, I'm not looking forward to watching Germany thump Curacao 15-0 in an half-empty stadium while it's being advertised for fucking Geico and all these other American brands. I mean, good God, could they not just have given it to a proper football country like Qatar?
Which teams have the worst travel schedule at the 2026 World Cup? Number 10 is Qatar, based in Santa Barbara, playing Switzerland, Canada, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Number 9 is Turkey, playing in their first World Cup in 24 years and based in Mesa, Arizona, playing Australia, Paraguay, and the USA. Number 8 is Japan, who picked Nashville as their home base, even though it wasn't on FIFA's original list of base cities, playing the Netherlands, Tunisia, and Sweden. Number 7 is New Zealand, based in San Diego, playing Iran, Egypt, and Belgium. And number 6 is Czechia, based in Mansfield, Texas, even though 2 of their 3 games are in Mexico, playing South Korea, South Africa, and Mexico. Number 5 is Jordan, making their World Cup debut based at the University of Portland in Oregon. The unfortunate bit is they have to fly down to Santa Clara twice for their first 2 games, and the 3rd game is in Dallas, Texas. That last trip alone is over 3,200 miles round trip. Total mileage is about 5,500 or 8,800 kilometers. Number 4 is England, based in Kansas City. Originally, they wanted the Sporting KC training complex, but FIFA gave it to Argentina. So England settled for the spot where Sporting KC actually trained during their championship years, Swope Soccer Village. They're right in the middle of the country with games in Dallas, Boston, and New York. Total mileage of about 5,600 or 9,000 kilometers. Number 3 is Bosnia and Herzegovina, who chose Sandy, Utah, specifically to minimize travel. Their coach, Sergei Barbarez, said the goal was to reduce flights and avoid time zone fatigue. I don't know if that worked. Their first game is in Toronto, then LA, then Seattle. Total mileage of 5,900 or 9,500 kilometers. Number 2 is Austria, based at UC Santa Barbara, playing their first World Cup in 28 years. Game 1 is a short hop to Santa Clara, but then they have to fly to Dallas and then to Kansas City, which is almost 2,900 miles round trip. Total mileage of 6,000 or 9,700 kilometers. But the team with the worst travel schedule of any country in the entire tournament is a Caribbean nation, the smallest country by population to ever qualify for a World Cup, with about 156,000 people total. Their head coach, Dick Advocat, is 78 years old and will become the oldest coach in World Cup history when they open against Germany. The team with the most brutal travel schedule is Curacao at about 6,300 miles or over 10,000 kilometers. Follow for part 2, where I break down the teams with the best travel schedules.
How much did you pay for your ticket?
My ticket was $4,400.
$1,120 each. $600. Way too much. Like, it's embarrassing to even say.
The World Cup is FIFA's cash cow, and they're hoping to double their revenue from Qatar 2022.
They're like $500. It's about $1,500 a pop.
$1,120. Much of that revenue comes from ticket sales, aka milking loyal fans. They've already broken records this tournament.
I think it was about $1,200 each. Yeah, but definitely worth it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I really wanted to bring my mom.
It's the World Cup. It doesn't come around that often.
This is our 6th World Cup. So we went to 94 together, and we just had to see the United States play.
FIFA has adapted to the US style of dynamic pricing for sporting events, which means prices fluctuate based on demand.
I think as an American, we kind of all sign on to like the worst version of capitalism.
I think the ticket prices got a little crazy.
It's my 5th World Cup.
Okay, and how do the prices for this World Cup compare to past ones?
Well, it's a lot more. Okay, como paraguaya sí es muy caro, pero como soy muy fanática.
I'm gonna pay that amount because I get to tell my kid that I'm here, and they're taking advantage of that, but also I'm a sucker for agreeing to it.
USA! USA!
The World Cup opening ceremony. Now, this is what I call art. Okay. I see a lot of celebrities do that. Not bad at all. I heard it means diamonds are forever. Not sure what's going on over here, guys. Maybe that's her favorite shape. My favorite shape is circles, and hers must be triangles. A lot of people do it. It's cool. It's nothing to worry about. I used to play with blocks. They used to come with rectangles, triangles, and stuff like that, guys. Maybe they showing us something. Maybe they not. Maybe it's a part of the rehearsal, part of the show, part of the dance that they came up with. This is cool stuff. They always show us at the big events, the big concerts, and things like that, guys. So It's been going on for a while now, nothing to worry about. Is what celebrities and, you know, famous people do. There was actually a lot of interesting things going on at that opening ceremony at the World Cup. But you guys got to see it for yourself to see all the good stuff. You're missing out. There's a few things going on over there that have nothing to do with soccer. But I guess it's popular and it's just a cool thing to do. Shh! Shut up! You know what time is it, guys? And it's time for you to go watch it because this video is for entertainment purposes only, guys. Go check it out. The World Cup 2026. Let's go. I don't know. Who knows? Let me know. I'm out.
You gonna get out of bed?
But why?
Because it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And I say, bro, I just read that the Somalian referee has been denied entry. Every few hours, it's another story. Another story about fans denied, players denied, officials denied, journalists denied. Now refs? You know something, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's actually not funny. Something has to be said. It's expensive tickets, the most expensive tickets ever. Expensive accommodation, transport through the roof. It has to be said. You know, is this how the hosts behave, really, for the greatest game, the greatest tournament in the world? Is this how the hosts behave? Are we not hearing more? Are we seeing how Qatar got dragged? Are we not hearing more? Is this the spirit of football? Really? You know who I feel for? I feel for the American fans who are desperate for this. American soccer fans who are desperate for this. How embarrassed they must be. How embarrassing for them this must be. This is, you know what? This is the World Cup. This is a World Cup of chaos. Whoever wins this World Cup is going to have to go through some serious chaos to get this done. I hope we can do it. But something has to be said, man. This is just like, this is the World Cup.
Welcome back to the Temu World Cup Part 8, and today we're going to be talking about ticket prices and specifically the cost of ticket prices for this year's Temu World Cup. Now, Brazil versus Morocco, it is a group stage game, Saturday the 13th of June. It is in MetLife Stadium. It's not a massive game, it's just a group game. The cheapest tickets I can see here are $1,500 to watch Morocco. Great stuff. But also, if you got the money of a Saudi prince, you can get a front row ticket for $46,000. $940 to watch Haiti play. Can't wait for that one. Colombia versus Portugal in a World Cup group match at Hard Rock Stadium. The stadium, ironically, that's been laid on top of concrete. $2,800. And if you're an England fan and you want to get a late ticket to the game against Croatia, the opening group game for us, it's going to cost you $900. $900. Unbelievable. The resale value of that will be $1,200. Incredible. What a ridiculous amount. You truly need to be a Saudi prince to attend even a group game. And then just to really back up my claim here around the disgraceful way that FIFA and the US have dealt with ticket prices for this tournament, here is a breakdown of the average cost for a World Cup final Category 1 ticket since 1998, which was, what, about $1,000. For this year's World Cup final, it will set you back a minimum of just under $11,000. Absolute disgrace. FIFA, sort yourself out. Welcome to the Temu World Cup.
Holy I don't know if you've heard this prediction yet, but if what this psychic is claiming even comes close to happening, the summer of 2026 could be one of the strangest in modern history. Now, before we go any further, this is a prediction, not a fact, not a news report, just a claim that has been circulating online. But the timing is what caught my attention. According to the prediction, sometime during the 2026 World Cup, while billions of people around the world are focused on the games, humanity could witness something that changes everything. The claim? An alien invasion. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on. And maybe you're right. But hear me out. Over the last few years, we've seen a dramatic increase in public discussion about unidentified objects in the sky. Governments have released footage, Whistleblowers have made claims. Entire hearings have been held on subjects that would have sounded crazy just a decade ago. At the same time, people all over the world have reported strange lights, unexplained booms, unusual atmospheric events, and an increase in meteor sightings. Does any of that prove aliens? Absolutely not. But it does make you wonder why this topic keeps finding its way back into the public conversation. And that's where this prediction gets interesting. The psychic allegedly claims that the World Cup won't just be remembered for what happened on the field. It will be remembered for what appeared above it. Again, there is zero evidence this will happen. But imagine for a moment that something truly unexplained appeared in the skies during one of the most watched events in human history. How would governments respond? How would the media respond? And more importantly, how would you respond? Would you believe it immediately? Or would you think it was a hoax? Or would it change the way you look at the world forever? Let me know what you think. If humanity ever experienced undeniable proof that we're not alone, what happens next? In spite of whether or not this happens, discernment is key.
Belinda commence d'entrée avec le triangle Illuminati et l'œil d'Horus. Le monde est posé sur une pyramide aztèque parce que c'est un sacrifice global. Et Shakira incarne la prostituée de Babylone, la femme écarlate de l'Apocalypse.
So first, let's talk about Belinda, super Latina pop star who held up an Illuminati triangle sign during the performance, which is getting a lot of people nervous. But there is a reason why they're nervous, because Belinda has a history of this. This is her during a photo shoot for a music video or something that she did not too long ago. And as you can see, kind of demonic. So I get it. Next, we have what looks like Aztec warriors dancing in front of what also looks like a pyramid with the globe on top. Now, he says, and other conspiracy theorists believe, this symbolized global sacrifice. Speaking of sacrifice, Burna Boy, a Nigerian singer-songwriter, actually performed at the World Cup performance as well, and people started noticing his name, Burna Boy. And some have connected Burna Boy's name to the Moloch practice of burning a boy during a sacrifice. Wait, there's more. The very first goal of the World Cup was scored by Julian Quinones, who many believe is actually a practicing Freemason. Some are now connecting all these dots to believe that the World Cup performance was supposed to be a New World Order show of force that is supposed to get us all in line. Whether or not you believe that is up to you, but tell me what you think in the comments.
England World Cup kickoff times. Just very lucky or something else going on? So with the World Cup starting this week, I was having a little look at the fixtures, and a lot of kickoff times are, obviously with the tournament being set in America, are quite strange kickoff times in the UK. So some kick off at like 1am, 2am, that sort of thing. So I thought, let me check the England fixtures so I know when I've got to sort of stay up late. And the 3 England group games, 9pm, 9pm, 10pm. So much more favourable than the early hours of the morning kickoffs. And I've got me thinking, what's happened here? I mean, have the English FA slipped FIFA some brown envelopes or something like that? I mean, I don't know. Is it just complete luck of the draw? Just it could have been anything and it happened to be 9pm, 9pm, 10pm? Maybe, I don't know, if you're a higher ranking FIFA nation, you get maybe a bit more say about what would be the best kickoff time, like for your country, based on the audience back home. Maybe, or as I've alluded to, has there been some sort of bribery from the English FA to FIFA? But no, that can't be right, because Gianni Infantino does not seem like the sort of person who would accept bribes.
World Cup predictions. Let's go. So, I'm not going to be doing my predictions for every single game. Like, tonight we have Mexico, South Africa, and I'm going to go, we'll do this one. I don't even know what to go for this one. Mexico, South Africa.
The stadiums will be full, the atmosphere will be excellent, and millions will watch. But from a British perspective, the late nights are criminal. The real victim of the 2026 World Cup isn't the players. It's the sleep schedule of the British public. And as always with major sporting events, there'll be arguments about money, politics, commercial interests, and who got what deal. Big tournaments attract big controversies. That's nothing new. What is new is asking Europeans to function normally after watching knockout football until the early hours. If England make the final, half the country will need 2 days off work and a strong cup of tea. Still, we'll all complain. We'll moan about the kick-off times. We'll moan about the travel. We'll moan about the organisation. And then we'll watch every minute anyway, because that's what football fans do. Cheerio, and I will see you all in the next video.